100 Clever but Petty Ways to Handle Toxic People. Welcome to Love Lux Amore, where we talk about self-development and fulfilling our dreams. If you've ever dealt with someone who seems to drain your energy, stir up unnecessary drama, or thrive on chaos, you know just how exhausting it can be. Toxic people come in all shapes and sizes: coworkers, friends, family members, or even that person who always manages to post something passive-aggressive on social media. But here's the thing, you don't have to let their negativity control your life or your emotions. In fact, today's video is all about empowering you with tools, strategies, and yes, a bit of humor, to handle these challenging individuals while protecting your peace. Now, let's be honest, dealing with toxic behavior often feels like navigating a minefield. One wrong move, and you're caught in a web of arguments, guilt trips, or manipulation. That's why today's list is designed to give you creative, subtle, and effective ways to disengage from the drama without losing your cool. And sometimes, when the situation calls for it, a little clever pettiness can serve as both a shield and a mirror to reflect their behavior back at them. It's not about stooping to their level, it's about showing them, gracefully and with a touch of flair, that you're not here to play their games. If you're finding these tips helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Your support means everything and helps me continue creating content like this for you. And if you're feeling inspired to take control of your life in bigger ways, I invite you to visit loveluxamore.com. I offer a range of digital products and services, including vision board analysis, goal-setting tools, and custom affirmations designed to help you remove negativity from your life and focus on what truly matters. Whether you're looking to set boundaries, reclaim your energy, or achieve personal success, these resources are here to guide you every step of the way. This video isn't just about clever ways to deal with toxic people, it's about reminding you that you're in control. You have the power to set boundaries, protect your energy, and prioritize your happiness. Toxic individuals often thrive on chaos and conflict, but when you approach them with calm confidence, you take away their power. Whether you're dealing with manipulative coworkers, dramatic friends, or family members who can't resist stirring the pot, these strategies will help you handle the situation with grace, and maybe even a little humor. So, grab a notebook, get comfortable, and let's dive into 100 clever but petty ways to handle toxic people. By the end of this video, you'll feel better equipped to face toxic interactions with confidence, clarity, and a touch of sass. Let's get started. 1. Hit them with politeness. When toxic people expect you to react negatively, hitting them with extreme politeness throws them off. Say things like, "Thank you for your feedback," or "I appreciate your opinion." Your calm response will often frustrate them because they thrive on drama. 2. Reply with one-word answers. A classic petty move is giving minimal responses. If they're ranting or trying to get a reaction, simply reply with "okay," "sure," or "noted." Nothing shuts down a toxic conversation faster than showing that you're unbothered. 3. Master the art of the non-reply. Sometimes the best response is no response. When dealing with toxic texts or DMs, just leave them on read. Silence speaks louder than words, and nothing frustrates toxic people more than being ignored. 4. Turn everything into a compliment. When someone tries to insult or criticize you, flip it into a compliment. If they say, "You're always so extra," respond with, "Thank you. I love going all out." It shows them you're not fazed by their attempts to belittle you. 5. Smile and walk away. There's nothing more powerful and petty than simply smiling and walking away when someone is trying to push your buttons. It leaves them fuming while you maintain your composure and peace. 6. Give them the bare minimum. When they ask for favors or try to manipulate you, give the bare minimum effort. For example, if they ask for a detailed explanation, give them a single sentence. Petty? Yes. Effective? Absolutely. 7. Outshine them. Toxic people love attention and want to outshine everyone. Beat them at their own game by excelling in everything you do. Whether it's at work, socially, or in personal achievements, success is the best revenge. 8. Change the subject. If they start gossiping or throwing negativity your way, casually change the subject to something light and positive. It's a subtle way to refuse engagement in their toxicity. 9. Act unbothered. When someone tries to make you jealous or instigate drama, act completely unbothered. Say, "That's cool," or "good for you," in the calmest tone. It sends a clear message that their antics aren't working. 10. Mirror their behavior. A clever way to deal with toxic people is to mirror their behavior back at them. If they're being passive-aggressive, respond in kind with their exact tone or phrasing. They'll quickly see how unpleasant it is. 11. Send a subtle message. Sometimes, a well-placed inspirational quote on your social media feed is the perfect subtle message for a toxic person. Choose something like, "Don't mistake my kindness for weakness," and let them read between the lines. 12. Correct them, pettily. If they make a mistake, instead of calling them out rudely, correct them in the most polite but precise way possible. For example, "Actually, I think you meant to say," it's subtle but satisfying. 13. Stay mysterious. Don't give toxic people too much information about your life. Keep things vague and let them wonder what you're up to. They thrive on gossip, and withholding details will leave them frustrated and curious. 14. Set firm boundaries, and stick to them. One of the most important ways to deal with toxic people is to set boundaries. Let them know what behavior you will and won't tolerate, and follow through with consequences when those boundaries are crossed. 15. Laugh it off. If they try to insult you, or get under your skin, laugh it off. Literally. A lighthearted chuckle or even a hearty laugh in response to a toxic person's digs will confuse them. They expect you to react with hurt or anger, but your laughter shows them how little their negativity affects you. 16. Agree with everything they say. If they're trying to start a petty argument or stir up drama, just agree with everything they say. Respond with, "You're absolutely right," even when you don't mean it. This will confuse and disarm them because they were likely gearing up for a fight. 17. Feign indifference. When toxic people are trying to get a rise out of you, show complete indifference. Respond with a shrug or a meh to indicate that their attempts at creating drama are utterly boring to you. 18. Respond with sarcasm. Sarcasm is a subtle and clever way to deal with toxic behavior. If someone is trying to bring you down with passive-aggressive comments, reply with something like, "Wow, you must be so fun at parties." The key is delivering it with a smile. 19. Be the bigger person, but make sure they know. Be the bigger person by refusing to engage in their negativity. But you can still be petty by making sure they know you're being the bigger person. "I'm not going to stoop to that level" sends the message without getting into the dirt. 20. Send a vague response. If a toxic person is prying into your personal business, give them a vague, non-committal response. If they ask what you're up to, say something like, "Oh, just handling things." Let their imagination do the rest. 21. Change your tone dramatically. When they start acting toxic, suddenly change your tone to overly sweet and kind. It throws them off and shows that you're controlling the conversation. "Oh, bless your heart" in a sugary tone can be incredibly petty, but effective. 22. Be extra cheerful. Toxic people hate to see others happy. Respond to their negativity by being overly cheerful. When they're trying to ruin your mood, smile wider and talk about something exciting happening in your life. 23. Use facts only. If a toxic person is spreading rumors or lies, counter them with cold, hard facts. Actually, that's not true. What happened was, and calmly state the facts. It strips them of their ammunition without getting emotional. 24. Delay your response. When they try to stir up trouble, take your sweet time responding. Let their passive-aggressive text or comments sit there for hours, or even days, before you respond, giving them plenty of time to realize you're not prioritizing their drama. 25. Give them the silent treatment. A classic but effective petty move is simply giving them the silent treatment. Toxic people crave attention, and your silence will send the message loud and clear that you won't indulge their antics. 26. Politely decline invitations. If a toxic person keeps inviting you to events or gatherings, simply respond with, "Thanks for the invite, but I'll pass." No need to explain further, just keep it short and polite. This sends a message that you're distancing yourself without being rude. 27. Use humor to deflect. If someone is trying to argue or bring negativity, use humor to deflect the situation. "You're really coming in hot today. Did you not get your coffee?" It's playful, but also shows that their toxic energy isn't going to touch you. 28. Bring up something completely unrelated. If a toxic person is ranting or being negative, throw them off by bringing up a completely unrelated topic. "You know what this reminds me of? That time I saw a squirrel in my backyard." Randomness can derail their toxic behavior. 29. Act confused. When they try to make a snide comment or insult you, pretend to be confused. "I'm sorry, I didn't quite get that. What were you trying to say?" This forces them to repeat their pettiness, often making them sound foolish in the process. 30. Give backhanded compliments. Toxic people love to dish it out but hate to receive it. If they make a rude comment about you, respond with a backhanded compliment like, "Wow, I wish I had your confidence to say things like that." Delivered with a smile, of course. 31. Limit their access to you. One of the most powerful moves you can make is limiting how much access a toxic person has to you. Whether it's muting their notifications or seeing them less frequently, taking control of your interaction time is key. 32. Flip the script. If they try to play the victim card or stir up drama, flip the script by making the conversation about something positive in your life. "Oh, you wouldn't believe the amazing project I just finished." Toxic people don't like being overshadowed by positivity. 33. Use their own words against them. When a toxic person contradicts themselves, which they often do, use their own words against them. Calmly remind them of what they previously said. "Didn't you just say last week that you were in New York?" It's a clever way to show their inconsistency without getting heated. 34. Start talking about self-development. Toxic people tend to hate hearing about others' personal growth. If they start complaining or being negative, start talking about the latest book you've read on self-development or the meditation class you're taking. It's a not-so-subtle reminder that you're leveling up while they stay stuck in their ways. 35. Give them an over-the-top compliment. If they're being rude, one-up them with an exaggerated compliment. "You're really outdoing yourself today with all this negativity." Impressive. It's petty, but effective in flipping the situation. 36. Casually mention how great your life is. If they're being petty or trying to bring you down, respond by casually mentioning how great things are going in your life. "I've been so busy with all these new opportunities, I barely have time to deal with this kind of stuff." 37. Publicly praise them, sarcastically. If a toxic person thrives on public drama, get petty by praising them in front of others, but in a way that highlights their behavior. "Oh, isn't she just the sweetest when she's being passive-aggressive?" It's subtle but lets everyone in the room in on the joke. 38. Give them the same energy. Mirror their toxic energy by giving it right back to them in a subtle, petty way. If they're being snippy, you can respond in kind, but with a touch of grace and humor. You know, you're giving me serious attitude today. Love the consistency. 39. Start talking about something they dislike. If they're trying to monopolize the conversation with negativity, casually bring up something they dislike or have no interest in. Watch how fast they back away from the conversation when they realize they're not getting the attention they crave. 40. Send them positive vibes. If they're trying to bring you down, throw them off by responding with something like, sending you good vibes. Hope your day gets better. It's clever, it's petty, and it shows you're above their toxicity. 41. Accidentally cut them off. If they're ranting or being negative, casually accidentally cut them off by answering your phone or talking to someone else. A quick, "Oh, sorry, I didn't catch that, but hold on," will leave them wondering why you're not prioritizing their toxicity. 42. Use big words. When a toxic person is trying to belittle you, throw in some high-level vocabulary just to throw them off. A well-placed, "I think your mendacious behavior is quite disconcerting," will leave them scrambling to keep up. Over-explain things. If they're trying to start a debate or pick apart something you said, get super detailed in your response. Over-explain everything to the point where they lose interest and just want the conversation to end. 44. Turn it into a compliment battle. If they're dishing out backhanded compliments, turn it into a petty battle by giving them one right back. "I love how you're always so honest, even when it's totally inappropriate." 45. Feign concern for their behavior. Respond to their toxicity by acting genuinely concerned for their well-being. "You've been really negative lately, are you okay? Do you need someone to talk to?" It puts the focus on them and makes them think twice about their behavior. 46. Speak in metaphors. When they're being difficult, respond with a metaphor. "You know, this whole conversation is like trying to swim in quicksand, it's exhausting and pointless." It adds humor and helps you disengage while still making a point. 47. Politely point out their flaws. Toxic people love to criticize others, but hate when the tables are turned. Politely point out their flaws in a concerned way. "I noticed you've been really stressed lately, and it's affecting your attitude. Maybe you should take a break." 48. Make everything sound positive. Even when they're complaining, twist everything they say into something positive. If they say, "You're so annoying," respond with, "I'm glad you're noticing my presence." Toxic people don't know what to do when you refuse to engage with their negativity. 49. Psychoanalyze them. If they're being toxic, calmly psychoanalyze their behavior. "You know, it sounds like you're projecting your insecurities onto others. Have you considered talking to someone about that?" 50. Ignore their existence. This is the ultimate petty move. If they're being toxic, act as though they're invisible. When they speak, don't acknowledge it. When they enter the room, continue your conversation as if they don't exist. 51. Pretend you didn't hear them. When they say something rude or toxic, just pretend you didn't hear it. Ask them to repeat it, and do it over and over until they get frustrated. "Sorry, what was that again? I didn't quite catch it." It's petty, but it makes them realize how ridiculous they sound. 52. Compliment their efforts, not results. If they're bragging or trying to one-up you, give them a subtle, backhanded compliment like, "Wow, you're really trying hard." This shifts the focus away from their supposed success and brings attention to the fact that they're seeking validation. 53. Overschedule yourself. If a toxic person tries to monopolize your time, always be busy. Politely decline invitations with, "I wish I could, but my schedule is packed right now." They'll get the hint that your time is too valuable to waste on them. 54. Give a passive-aggressive compliment. Say something like, "You're so brave for saying what's on your mind, even when it's completely unnecessary." It sounds like a compliment, but they'll realize quickly that you're pointing out their rudeness. 55. Bring up their old behavior. When they act out, calmly remind them of past behavior. "This feels a lot like that time when you did XYZ. Are we going down that road again?" Bringing up their history of toxic behavior makes them reflect on their patterns. 56. Correct their grammar. In a heated or passive-aggressive exchange, nothing is more frustrating than being grammar checked. Calmly correct their grammar, spelling, or punctuation. For example, you could say, "I think you meant especially, not especially." It's petty but oh so effective. 57. Suddenly become busy. If they start being toxic in a conversation, glance at your watch or phone and say, "I've just realized I have somewhere to be." Abruptly ending the conversation shows them that their behavior isn't worth your time. 58. Reply with a question. Whenever they make a rude or inappropriate statement, respond with a question that deflects the negativity back to them. "Why do you think it's okay to say something like that?" It puts them on the spot and forces them to reconsider their words. 59. Use an obvious cliché. When they try to stir up drama, respond with an overused cliché like, "You know what they say, misery loves company." It points out their behavior without directly confronting it, all while keeping things light. 60. Feign sympathy. When they're in a negative mood, respond with over-the-top sympathy. "Oh no. I can't imagine how hard that must be for you," said with a tone that's clearly insincere, letting them know you're not taking their antics seriously. 61. Keep conversations short. If you're forced to interact with them, keep your responses short and to the point. Toxic people thrive on dragging things out, so cutting the conversation off early with a quick, "Okay, gotta go," will frustrate them. 62. Act like you didn't notice their insult. If they insult you, act completely oblivious. "Oh, were you talking to me? I wasn't paying attention." This makes it clear that their attempts to hurt or annoy you are falling flat. 63. Turn everything into a positive. No matter how negative or toxic their comments are, respond with positivity. If they say, "You're so annoying," reply with, "I'm glad I can keep things interesting." It takes the wind out of their sails when you refuse to match their energy. 64. Redirect the conversation. If they start bad-mouthing someone or bringing negative energy, redirect the conversation to something more positive. "Anyway, did you see that cute puppy video I shared?" This disrupts their negativity without direct confrontation. 65. Mention how much you're thriving. If they're trying to bring you down, casually mention how much you're thriving. "I've been doing so well lately, work's great, personal life is amazing. Things are just really falling into place." They'll have a hard time continuing their toxic behavior when you're radiating positivity. 66. Pretend you misunderstood. When they make a passive-aggressive comment, pretend you misunderstood their intent. "Oh, I thought you were giving me a compliment." It subtly calls them out without escalating the situation. 67. Talk about your boundaries. If they're testing your limits, remind them, in the sweetest tone, about your boundaries. "Remember, we talked about not going there with this topic?" It's polite, but firm, and shows them you won't tolerate overstepping. 68. Offer them self-help advice. Nothing is more frustrating for a toxic person than being offered self-help advice. You should really read this book on emotional intelligence. I think it could really help you. They'll either take the hint or steer clear in the future. 69. Subtly correct them publicly. If they make a false statement or try to spread misinformation, correct them in a subtle but public way. Oh, actually, that's not quite accurate. Here's what really happened. Doing this in front of others puts them in an uncomfortable position without being overtly rude. 70. Keep your responses neutral. If they're fishing for drama or a reaction, keep your responses neutral. Say things like "that's interesting" or "I see." This gives them nothing to work with and forces them to move on. 71. Talk about gratitude. If they're complaining or being negative, shift the conversation to gratitude. You know what I'm really grateful for? All the positivity in my life. They'll struggle to continue their toxic rant when you're focused on the bright side. 72. Mention how relaxed you feel. When they're in the middle of a toxic outburst, comment on how relaxed and at peace you feel. I've been feeling so zen lately. It's amazing what meditation can do. It's a subtle way of showing them that their negativity isn't affecting you. 73. Respond with "bless your heart." In true Southern style, respond to their toxic comments with "bless your heart." It's sweet and polite on the surface but carries that underlying shade that says you're not fooled by their behavior. 74. Take a deep breath, loudly. When they start getting on your nerves, take a dramatic deep breath and exhale loudly. This communicates that you're keeping your cool, but also subtly hints that they're testing your patience. 75. Reply with emojis only. If they send you a toxic text or message, reply with just emojis. A smiley face, heart, or thumbs up is all you need. It's petty, but it shows them that you're not engaging in their negativity. 76. Compliment their energy. If they're being negative or aggressive, respond by complimenting their energy, sarcastically. "Wow, you've got a lot of energy today. What's your secret?" It's a way of pointing out their behavior without directly calling them out. 77. Turn their rant into a joke. When they go on a rant, respond with a joke to lighten the mood and deflect their negativity. You should really consider stand-up comedy. You're hilarious when you're upset. 78. Act completely unfazed. If they're trying to provoke you, act completely unfazed. Yawn, check your phone, or even start humming. The more bored you seem, the more frustrated they'll get when their toxic behavior isn't landing. 79. Start talking about your self-care routine. If they're being toxic, respond by talking about your self-care routine. I've been practicing so much self-love lately, it's really helped me rise above negativity. It sends the message that you're focused on bettering yourself, not engaging with drama. 80. Agree, but with a twist. If they say something critical, agree with them but with a twist. "You're right, I can be a little much sometimes, probably because I'm always striving to be the best version of myself." It's a clever way of turning the insult into self-praise. 81. Bring up something random. If they're being negative, throw them off by bringing up something completely random. Did you know flamingos can sleep standing on one leg? It's so off-topic that it derails their toxic behavior and makes the conversation awkward for them. 82. Call them out in a playful way. If they're being toxic, call them out playfully. "Oh wow, someone woke up on the wrong side of the bed today." It's lighthearted but lets them know you're aware of their behavior. 83. Use their name repeatedly. If they're being rude or toxic, use their name repeatedly in the conversation. "Oh, really, Sarah? That's interesting, Sarah. I see your point, Sarah." It's a subtle, slightly annoying tactic that will leave them wondering why you're doing it. 84. Respond with a compliment sandwich. If you need to call them out, do it with a compliment sandwich. Start with a compliment, insert the criticism, and end with another compliment. You're such a great friend, but I noticed you've been a little negative lately. Anyway, I really appreciate your support. 85. Act like you're in a great mood. Even if they're being toxic, act like you're in the best mood ever. Smile, laugh, and carry on as if everything is wonderful. Toxic people hate seeing others happy, and your joy will only annoy them further. 86. Turn their insult into a joke. When they throw a petty insult your way, laugh and turn it into a joke. Oh, I guess I am a little extra today. Thanks for noticing. This shows them that you're not taking their words seriously at all. 87. Ask them to repeat themselves. If they make a toxic comment, ask them to repeat it. Sorry, can you say that again? Often, having to repeat themselves will make them realize how ridiculous they sound. 88. Talk about how calm you feel. When they're trying to stir up drama, respond by talking about how calm and centered you feel. I've been so at peace lately, it's amazing what meditation can do for your energy. It sends a message that their negativity can't touch you. 89. Respond neutrally to show your disagreement. When they offer a rude or toxic opinion, simply reply, "Well, that's one way to look at it." It's a neutral response that subtly shows you're not agreeing with their negativity. 90. Politely ask how they're doing. If they're being rude or toxic, politely ask, "Are you okay? You seem a little off today." It makes them think about their behavior while putting you in the role of the concerned bystander. 91. Use passive-aggressive politeness. When they're rude, respond with exaggerated politeness. "Oh my gosh, thank you so much for your insight. That's so kind of you to say." It's so over the top that they'll know you're not being sincere. 92. Pretend you're busy. If they try to engage you in drama or toxic behavior, pretend you're too busy to deal with it. "I'd love to dive into that, but I've got so much going on right now, can we catch up later?" Spoiler, you'll never catch up later. 93. Compliment their patience. If they're being pushy or demanding, compliment their patience. "You're so patient with me, I'm really taking my time here, aren't I?" It's a clever way to acknowledge their pushiness without directly confronting it. 94. Pretend you misheard them. When they make a rude comment, pretend you misheard them. "Oh, did you say I'm amazing? Thanks so much." It turns their negativity into a compliment and lets them know their words don't bother you. 95. Express empathy to indicate your disagreement. When they're upset or ranting, calmly say, "I'm sorry you feel that way." It's a neutral response that doesn't escalate the situation but shows you're not going to engage with their drama. 96. Point out their behavior sweetly. If they're being toxic, sweetly say, "You've been acting a little off lately, is everything okay?" It puts the focus on their behavior in a subtle, concerned way. 97. Agree and exaggerate. If they criticize you, agree but exaggerate the situation. "Oh, you think I'm being dramatic? You should have seen me yesterday, I was even worse." It makes their insult seem insignificant and shows you're unbothered. 98. Acknowledge their view without endorsing it. When they offer a rude or toxic opinion, reply with, "That's an interesting perspective." This polite yet neutral response subtly communicates that you don't agree, helping to prevent the conversation from escalating into an argument. 99. Act like you didn't understand. If they make a toxic comment, act like you didn't understand and ask them to clarify. "Sorry, I don't get what you mean, could you explain it to me? Making them explain their rudeness will often make them realize how petty they're being. 100. Send them a cute meme. When all else fails, send them a cute, irrelevant meme in response to their toxicity. It completely changes the tone of the conversation and lets them know that you're not engaging in their drama at all. Thank you so much for spending time with me today as we explored 100 clever but petty ways to handle toxic people. I hope this video left you feeling inspired, empowered, and maybe even a little amused. Dealing with toxic behavior is never easy, but it's important to remember that you have more power than you think. Every time you set a boundary, respond with calmness, or choose not to engage, you're reclaiming a piece of your energy and protecting your peace. Toxic people often live in a cycle of drama and negativity, and their goal is to pull others into that chaos. But by staying calm, clever, and sometimes a little petty, you can send a clear message: their behavior doesn't define you. Handling toxic people isn't about stooping to their level, it's about taking control of your responses and showing that you value your own mental health and well-being above their need for attention. Every strategy you use, whether it's silence, humor, or a perfectly timed bless your heart, is a step toward building a life that's free from their influence. If today's video resonated with you, I encourage you to check out loveluxeamore.com for more tools to help you thrive. My digital products and services are designed to support your personal growth, whether that's through vision board analysis, goal-setting tools, or custom affirmations tailored specifically to your goals. These resources will help you focus on what truly matters, building a life filled with positivity, success, and joy, far away from the chaos of toxic people. And let's take a moment to celebrate your progress. You're here, watching this video, and taking steps to protect your energy and prioritize your peace. That's something to be proud of. Life is too short to let negativity weigh you down. By choosing to rise above toxic behavior, you're not only protecting yourself, you're creating space for happiness, growth, and genuine connections. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe so you never miss more content like this. And before you go, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Which strategy resonated with you the most? How have you handled toxic people in your own life? Let's keep this conversation going and support each other on this journey. Thank you again for joining me today. Remember, you have the power to create boundaries, protect your energy, and design a life filled with positivity and purpose. Toxic people may come and go, but your peace and happiness are yours to claim and protect. Keep shining, keep thriving, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care and stay true to yourself. You deserve nothing less.